You've started over more times than you can count. Not because you failed, but because something else caught your attention. And suddenly, the thing you were building didn't feel as alive as it did before. Meanwhile, everyone around you seems so certain. They pick a lane, they stay in it, and somehow they keep moving forward. But you're standing at an intersection with 10 different roads in front of you. And the strange part is, you're genuinely interested in all of them. People call it being scattered. And after hearing that enough times, you start wondering if they're right. But what if the problem isn't that you have too many interests? What if the real problem is that you've been trying to understand yourself through the wrong lens? Because this is what it actually feels like. You start something new, a skill, a project, a career path. At first, it's electric. You're learning fast. You're obsessed. You feel engaged, alive, connected to yourself again. And then slowly, the novelty fades. The progress becomes less exciting. The learning curve flattens, and somewhere in the background, another interest appears. Something new. Something that feels more aligned, more meaningful, more you. So you pivot, again, and after repeating this cycle enough times, the guilt starts piling up. You quietly build a story about yourself. Maybe I can't commit. Maybe I'm just undisciplined. Maybe I'll never go deep enough into anything for it to matter. And eventually, that story starts shaping your entire identity. You hesitate before starting things because you already expect yourself to quit. You struggle to answer simple questions like, so, what do you do? And every time you compare yourself to someone with one clear direction, it feels like there's something fundamentally wrong with you. But there's a name for this. Psychologist Barbara Sher called it multipotentiality, the ability to pursue multiple areas at a high level. And the reason it hurts so much is tied to something called identity diffusion. When someone struggles to build a stable sense of self around one fixed role or path. That doesn't mean you're broken. It means your mind works differently. Because what most people call being scattered is often something else entirely. A brain wired for novelty, a nervous system drawn toward exploration, a mind that naturally connects patterns across completely different fields. And neuroscience actually links those traits to creativity, adaptability, and innovative thinking. So the problem isn't your wiring. The problem is that the world was designed around specialists, and you've been trying to force a multi-dimensional mind into a single-track system. You didn't fail the mold. The mold was never built for someone like you. And maybe the pain you feel isn't proof that something is wrong with you. Maybe it's proof that you've spent years trying to become someone you were never meant to be. Because here's what's happening neurologically. Dopamine isn't really the chemical of pleasure. It's the chemical of anticipation. It spikes hardest when something feels new, promising, and full of possibility. That's why the beginning of every new journey feels so exciting. Everything is fresh. Progress is fast. Your brain feels fully alive. But once you move past the beginner phase, things change. Growth slows down. The novelty fades. And your brain starts scanning for the next source of stimulation. In neuroscience, this is called the exploration-exploitation tradeoff. Most people are wired to exploit, to stay with one thing and go deeper. But some people are wired to explore, to move between ideas, to map new territory, to connect patterns others miss. Think of it like this. Most people are miners. They find one spot and dig deep. But you're a surveyor. You were built to explore the landscape. And maybe the reason you felt so lost is because you kept trying to judge yourself using a system designed for minors. So the real question becomes, how do you actually build a life with a mind like this? Not by forcing yourself to become someone else, but by designing a structure that works with your brain instead of against it. First, stop looking for the perfect topic. Start looking for the thread. Because when you zoom out, there's usually a deeper pattern connecting all your interests. Maybe you explored psychology, storytelling, design, and teaching. Those seem unrelated on the surface, but underneath them all might be the same core drive, helping people understand complex things. The topics change, the thread stays the same, and your brain can commit to a thread far more easily than it can commit to a single rigid identity. Second, treat curiosity like information. Not an instruction to abandon everything, but a signal worth paying attention to. Sometimes a new interest isn't asking you to completely change direction. Sometimes it's revealing something missing in your current path. More creativity, more freedom, more meaning, more challenge. And once you understand what your brain is actually craving, you can often bring that quality into the work you're already doing. Third, stop thinking in forever. Your brain resists permanent identity contracts. So instead of saying, "This is what I'm doing for the rest of my life," try saying, "I'm going all in on this for the next 90 days. That changes everything. Because now your brain sees a finish line. The commitment feels real, but survivable. And after those 90 days, you reassess honestly. Continue, adapt, or rotate. That's not failure, that's structure. Fourth, stop hiding your range. The modern world desperately needs people who can connect ideas across disciplines: strategy, content, branding, research, design, storytelling. The person who understands psychology and communication and creativity isn't unfocused. They're valuable in a way specialists often can't replicate. Because specialists go deep, but translators connect worlds, and that skill is rare. Finally, choose one anchor skill, not one passion, not one identity. One anchor. One visible thing people can recognize, hire, follow, or remember you for. And let everything else support it underneath the surface. Think of it like a tree. Your anchor skill is the trunk. Your other interests are the roots, invisible to most people, but the very reason the tree stands in the first place. So no, you are not someone who can't commit. You're someone whose identity was never meant to fit into one narrow category. Your job isn't to force yourself into becoming a specialist. Your job is to find the thread that connects your mind together and build a life around expressing it. Because the surveyor doesn't become the miner. The surveyor learns how to build roads, and maybe you're not behind. Maybe you haven't wasted time at all. Maybe every interest you explored gave you a piece of something larger, something that still hasn't fully come together.